Big part of what we do is go out in the community, and it's really the best part of what we do because it kind of brings the VMC out to the veterans and their families. So thinking about the last few months, some of the things that we did, we started out, going to Americade, which is a different venue for us. So we went up to Americade, spent the week up there, and talked to bikers from all over the U.S.
The Americade, we get up there and there's all kinds of motorcycles all over the place. And we had an older gentleman come up and he talked to me, and him and his wife, and I watched her pushing him a little bit in this chair. And I said, honey, what's the problem here? She said, well, the chair doesn't work too good. I said, well, why don't we get him a power chair? Is he a veteran? Absolutely. I said, how old is he? She said, he's 87. I said, wonderful. And how old are you? Should I ask? And she smiled. She said, yeah. She said, I'm just a couple years behind him. I said, all right. And yet you're pushing him around here. And he was a big guy. She said, yeah. And I said, well, let's see if we can help you. She said, could you? So I called back to the shop and I said, hey guys, we got a power chair? Good. I said, get it together and bring it up to me at Lake George. You're kidding. I said, no. Get it together, bring it up to Lake George. So I turned to the lady and I said, you're going to have a chair on Friday. Well, she sat down in the middle of the event up there and just started crying. She said, you have a wish. How much? I said, free. Free. I said, that's right.
And from there, we thought, well, hey, this works out really well. We can reach the veterans, and kind of get them involved in what we're doing. So we wandered from there. We went to a fireman's fair, which is a whole different world for us, dealing with kids, and we set up a boots game. So we took our boots that we had, the Mickey Mouse boots, and we had kids throwing quarters in the boots. And it was kind of fun. We gave them away toys, but we also, helped them understand the value of our veterans and what our military has done for them, and military past and present, and the role that they play. And so that's an important thing for us to do also, to go out there. And then we had the honor, really, of participating in a Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Parade, and spending the day with them and actually honoring all of our veterans that were forgotten, and they weren't welcomed home before, but now they are. And so we were really lucky to do that. And the tugboat roundup was an awful lot of fun for us. Again, the game, but we kind of expanded our footprint, so to speak, that day. And we always take the truck with us, so you can't miss the truck. And people stopped over, and again, we had kids, but we had families. But we also encouraged people to sign thank you notes. We went to the opening of a gun store, because veterans are involved in that too, Second Amendment supporters. We go wherever we can, so veterans see us. Another real fun thing that we did, walk. We had a walk, which was called Walk a Mile in Their Boots. And so we had people put on the Mickey Mouse boots. Each boot weighs about 8 pounds. 90 degrees outside, real muggy in the morning, and, not walking on pavement, but walking on a trail. And so we had people, they actually paid to do this. That's how crazy people are. They paid to put on the boots and walk a mile in those boots, and it's kind of in the humidity and the bugs and the mosquitoes and playing mud puddles. And that was a great day too. So, we've only been around since November, 1 year, and look at all the things that we've accomplished. Our goal is to get out in the community, let the veterans know we're here, but also let everybody else know that, it's time to support our veterans and do what you can. So as a VMC, we're loving it. It's just great. Did I steal that from somebody else? We're going to use it anyway. We had a great time in the community.